Geometry Dash, a game that's nearly 12 years old but has one of the biggest communities in gaming, having a concurrent player base of 75,000 and a top count of 95,000. Damn! Arguably said to be one of the hardest games of all time, requiring frame-perfect precision at the highest level. As someone who has never played this game before, I thought to myself, how hard could this game actually be? It can't be that bad. What could possibly go wrong? After seeing a video of Jynzxi playing Geometry Dash for the first time, as well as him collaborating with different Geometry Dash content creators, it honestly piqued my interest. Also seeing whatever abomination this is,
Hell no.
and then watching Jynzxi fail a level that was 100 times easier.
I'm gonna give you advice, doggy, on some real shit, bro.
I'm gonna caress those little balls.
Anyways, after getting my new laptop and not gaming in 3 years, surely I can beat all the Geometry Dash main levels faster than Jynzxi could. Alright, let's do this. Stereo Madness is the first Geometry Dash level. It's the beginning of everyone's journey. But wait a moment, I gotta buy the game first. Stereo Madness, the first stage in the entire game. Can't be that hard. Oh shit! Something I noticed in Geometry Dash videos as well is that they have like a progress bar in like the top. I kid you not, I literally spent the next 15 minutes trying to figure out where the progress bar was. Turns out it was just here all along instead. Bruh. Also, one advantage that I have over Jynzxi is that I'm not bricked in the brain.
I like Fortnite.
That's enough Jynzxi slander for today. Let's lock in. After a couple of attempts, I was able to easily beat Stereo Madness. Misinput! Must have been the win. What's interesting about this level is the introduction of the ship, allowing you to soar across the sky. Honestly, if it wasn't for all the attempts I did trying to fix my screen tearing, I would have less attempts. But with a final total of 13 attempts, my final rating for this level is a 5 for music, 6 for fun, and 1 for difficulty. Back on Track is the second Geometry Dash level. What's cool about this level is that it introduces the jump pack mechanic. As its name implies, it makes you go up really high, just like Dogi's heart rate after going past 1% on grief. Besides the music being a bit better compared to Stereo Madness, this level was honestly a lot easier due to the fact of the absence of triple spikes, with a total attempt count of 1! Not even close, baby! My final rating is a 6 for music, a 6.5 for fun, and a 0 for difficulty. Polargeist? What the fuck? Polargeist is the third Geometry Dash level, introducing the orb mechanic where you have to time your clicks to perform a jump in the air. What's really interesting about this mechanic is that you can't really spam it, as it might not register and you end up dying. It was definitely a step up higher compared to the other 2 levels so far. Also, the theme for this level is a freaking banger! With a final attempt count of 3, my final rating for Polargeist is an 8.5 for music, 6 for fun, and a difficulty rating of 1.5. Tryout, the fourth Geometry Dash level. What's really sick about this level is the gravity shift mechanic, making your character go upside down. Although it was a bit tricky at first, it was honestly pretty easy to get a hang of. Besides that, this level really has nothing else to offer. However, this was definitely the best ship I've ever seen out of all the Geometry Dash levels. And my total attempt count for Tryout is 4, with a final rating of 6 for music, 6.5 for fun, and 2 for difficulty. Anyways, let's go to the next level. Wait a minute, hold on a second. I've been kind of speedrunning all of these levels. Surely a new player can't do all of this. Well, remember, I watched Jynzxi complete all these levels, but also I used to watch Geometry Dash content, so it's not like I don't understand the game's mechanics. Also, it's not really that hard to understand that if I don't jump here, then I die. You know, this is just a personal theory of mine. Maybe playing all those Clash Royale games made Jynxxi's neurons smoothen out.
Hello, sister.
But anyways, with that off my chest, it's time to finally go to the next level. Base after base is the 5th raw top level, and was honestly the biggest challenge so far. My favorite part, but also where I died the most, was when the level becomes dark. 74% was a weird choke form for me, but I was able to get through it and beat. It's fine. Surely I won't die near the end from now on, right? After my 9th attempt, I was able to beat base after base, and with my final rating for the level being a 7 for music, 5 for fun, 3 for difficulty. But let's also add the aesthetic rating because honestly, this level was really cool compared to the rest, with an aesthetic rating of 4.5. Can't let go, the 6th Geometry Dash level is absolutely cook. The first level that actually started to tickle my balls, having tighter spaces and more level diversity than base after base. This level also has way more interesting gameplay, having a ship and upside down cube game mode. I have to say though, this was definitely one of the hardest levels for me. My heart rate was peaking when I barely made it past over the triple spike as well. But overall, I actually enjoyed this level the most so far, even though it was way harder. With a final attempt count of 20, my final rating for this level is a 5.6 for music, 7 for fun, 4.5 for difficulty, and 5 for aesthetics. Also, I wonder what these little blue balls are. I wonder what they're used for. The shop is the place where you spend your orbs at, buying different cosmetic items for your ships, cubes, and whatever these things are. After dying on Can't Let Go, the storekeeper wanted to sell me some of his white powder. Instead, I was greeted with a blob of white sticky substances. Thanks to that, now I have the ability to change my race. Jumper, the 7th Geometry Dash level and the first red face level, but honestly, I gotta say, this level was piss easy. It did have a couple of hard parts, but I honestly fluked it. The new mechanic added was the upside down ship, and honestly, it was really cool, although one complaint I do have is that there was really no obstacles in the way. But the one thing that does redeem this level is this level design, and it's absolutely banger of a soundtrack. With a final attempt count of 6, my final rating for this level is a 7 for music, 8 for fun, 2.5 for difficulty, and a 5.5 for aesthetics. I really hate Time Machine! Time Machine is the 8th level of Geometry Dash, and when I say this level was a step higher from the rest, I mean this shit ran me straight up my ass. Oh, and guess what? Why not a backward ship? Why not have a million triple spikes? One here, 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 reverse gravity. Oh shit, backwards again, more triple spikes? This looks like a penis! Oh wait, we're going forward again? Never mind, backwards, reverse gravity, forward, another triple spike, more ship, go upside down again! Easy, not even close. With a final attempt count of 42, my final rating of Time Machine is a 6 for music, -1 for fun, and 6 for difficulty. Although I do hate triple spikes, the aesthetics of this level was a 5. If you thought Time Machine was the final backshot, then Cycles is the last thing your sorry ass will see before it is vigorously decimated, containing more triple spikes, reverse gravity bullshit, and a new game mode. Wait, what? The ball is the next game mode introduced with the level cycles. It's pretty self-explanatory. Basically, it sticks onto surfaces, and it keeps rolling until you do another click and then it rolls down. Although this level was a lot harder than Time Machine, it was honestly the most fun I had with Geometry Dash. The ball game mode is super fun, and with the fakes that I put here and there, makes it really cool. But this one part is really annoying, so I'm gonna bump the rating down a bit. However, the music is an absolute banger. I felt really morse listening to it. With a final attempt count of 46, my final rating for Cycles is an 8 for music, 7.5 for fun, 6.5 for difficulty, and 6 for aesthetics. XStep, the first purple face level. At the very beginning, you go straight into a ball section. The first ship section was a bit difficult due to these big black balls in my face, but I was able to maneuver around them. This level really gives you no breaks. Going next into a quick cube section, and back into an even tighter ship section. The new mechanic added is the blue jump pad. Every time you hit it, your gravity shifts. This level was quite annoying with its fakes, causing me to die multiple times near the end. After my devastating 70% fail on XStep, I started thinking to myself, I think I'm gonna start doing practice mode for all the levels now before I even do anything, because it's kind of getting pretty rough. Skill issue. After a bit of practice and understanding the layout of the level, I was ready to lock in and beat XStep. Yeah, about that. That shit did not happen, as I continued to die over and over again. After another 20 minutes, I got to the last ball section, and finally the final stretch. All I had to do was beat this last ship section. Let's go! Not even close, baby. Woo! With a final attempt count of, wait, what? So turns out I had less attempts on XStep than I did Cycles. How? I don't even know. Maybe practicing the whole level was a good idea. Wow, that's crazy! With a final rating of 6 for music, 7 for fun, 5 for difficulty, and 5.5 for aesthetics. Clutterfunk, the Geometry Dash level that had Jynzxi spending hours and over 1,000 attempts to beat in practice mode. I was scared going into Clutterfunk. I didn't even hesitate to go immediately into practice mode, and what I found shocked me to my very core. I beat it in 63 attempts. Jynzxi, what the fuck? The new mechanic introduced is the mini porter, making you smaller and, well, small. Clutterfunk is riddled with tons of mechanics. Honestly, it was really insane, but I felt confident that I would be able to beat it in less than an hour. On my very first attempt, I was able to reach 16%, then 20%. Alright, that's already 1/5 of the way done. And on my 11th attempt, I got past the mini cube. Wait a minute, I'm doing it! I'm gonna beat it! The ball section down! Go, Elite, go! Mini ship down! He's doing it! Bro, what is that goofy ass death? So yeah, I got to 71% and then choked by not clicking over this 2-spike jump. I have to be the biggest idiot, bro. I proceeded to continuously die over and over again. I was starting to lose hope, but no, I can't suck as bad as Jynzxi. I can't allow that! With new motivation, I continue grinding, and then finally, I passed 71%. It's time to lock the fuck in. And of course, I fucking delivered. Yes! Let's freaking go! Oh! Yeah, bounce on this dude! With a final attempt count of 92, my final rating for Clutterfunk is a 7.5 for music, 7 for fun, 7 for difficulty, and a 6.5 for aesthetics. Let's fucking go. Surely the next level will be a lot fucking easier. Theory of Everything, the 12th Geometry Dash level, is absolute cinema. The best theme song out of all 12 levels so far, having the best level structure and gameplay as well. Going from this cool orb intro straight into a ship, then into a mini ship section. It's a constant yummy creaminess in this level. Who the fuck wrote this script? Introducing the UFO, probably one of the easiest game modes in Geometry Dash. You simply have to time your clicks to continue forward. Easy. Going backwards now with this ball section, I love clicking these balls. Theory of Everything really tries its best to get you familiarized with the UFO game mode, with going in and out, back and forth, again and again, up and down. Can't forget going backwards as well, making sure to avoid the dangers and going through these long, deep pathways. Once out of these portals, get ready to click those balls. Make sure your balls are ready as well. Once your balls are worn out from all that movement, your ship now has to make its way to the end. And boom, you beat Theory of Everything. With an attempt count of, oh for fuck's sake! My final rating of Theory of Everything is a 9 for music, 8 for fun, 6 for difficulty, and 8 for aesthetics. The next level is Electroman Adventures, but to be honest, I need to sleep! I've been playing Geometry Dash for the past 5 hours now. It's almost 1 AM in the morning. I just need a little bit of sleep. Me. Triple spikes, no. No! Electroman Adventure, the 13th Geometry Dash level. Seeing that this level is rated the same as Clutterfunk, surely this level will be as difficult. It was not. I beat this level in under 40 attempts. The only positive thing about this level is the soundtrack. Besides that, it's a pretty big letdown compared to the other purple face levels so far. But these balls and UFO timings were really fun, with a final rating of 8 for music, 6 for fun, 3 for difficulty, and a 6 for aesthetics. This level is locked. Seems like I need coins, but I'm kinda lazy, so I'll do that later after I beat all the available levels. Electrodynamix! This level is fire, both in the gameplay but also how ridiculously hard it is. Before doing any type of practice, I wanted to dip my toes a little bit into this level. After about 30 attempts, I got to 33%. I was thinking to myself that this wasn't gonna be so bad. Then I headed into practice mode. Speed boost, tight UFO timings, more speed boost, insanely tight ship flies, more speed! Electrodynamics is actually extremely short, but it's jam-packed with the hardest ship sections I've ever seen before. Everything else looks relatively difficult, but this 3x speed ship section was actually gonna eat my ass apart. Just the practice mode alone took me more attempts than Theory of Everything. I needed to call for a legend. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, insanely freaky, definitely gay femboy, Shine! I tried my best to get into a Discord call with my boy, but turns out he's got a baby now. Damn, Shine! Since he couldn't coach me in a call, we kept exchanging messages. But instead of focusing on Geometry Dash, as time passed by, we instead started to make fun of Jynzxi. Anyways, after some encouragement, I decided to fully lock in. I immediately showed Shine and finally got his approval. With a final attempt count of 370, my final rating for Electrodynamic is a 6.5 for music, 5 for fun, 8 for difficulty, and a 6.5 for aesthetics. Hexagon Force, the next Geometry Dash level on my list. Spoiler alert, this is my favorite Geometry Dash level out of all the official main levels, having in my opinion the best soundtrack as well as being the most fun to learn. Well, at first pass me wouldn't have agreed so much. My first couple attempts were me trying to have a feel for this level. I was also simply admiring the layout of the level, honestly one of my favorites out of all the Geometry Dash main levels. But what came next made Hexagon Force my favorite Geometry Dash level of all time. Hexagon Force introduces the mirror mechanic, forcing you to be more precise with your inputs while focusing on multiple characters. It gets harder when you introduce a ship section with it as well. It's easy to get disoriented and mixed up with which ship is which and end up falling or flying upwards to your death. My biggest choke point was when the dual ball comes in. It took me an extreme amount of attempts to realize the correct timing and simply not panic. Now that these levels are getting much more difficult, my heart rate was beginning to accelerate faster than Jynzxi's credit card when a new Clash Royale update happens.
You and Alexa still cracking?
Oh, you bet. Alexa and I are still going strong.
Oh my God, Bernard!
The few final sections were easy, so I probably won't choke near the end. After really grinding with practice mode, I was ready to beat this level. I made quick work, getting better and better scores. At this rate, I'm going to beat it. Haha, yeah. No, life is never that easy. I proceeded to choke multiple times near the end. My patience was waning as it was actually Christmas Day. I wanted to watch Home Alone for the 100th time with my dad, but I really wanted to beat Hexagon Force. It was all or nothing. I was confident I could beat it. As I passed the main choke point, I locked the fuck in. Nothing could stop. I'm done. I'm watching Home Alone. Fuck this shit. After a quick rejuice, I had the energy to commit to this cock and ball torture. And after 30 minutes, I got to the final stretch. Yes! Let's freaking go! Oh my god. Woo! With a little over under 300 attempts, I overcame Hexagon Force. My final rating for Hexagon Force is a 10 for music, 9 for fun, 7 for difficulty, and 8 for aesthetics. I decided to enjoy the rest of my day with my family and take a break from Geometry Dash. Tomorrow, re-dash hard. Blast Processing is the next Geometry Dash level. This level is rated as a red face level, so finally I'll get a little break from the pain and suffering the last two levels caused me. The start looks like an easier version of Electrodynamix in Hexagon Force, but at the 14% mark, the wave game mode is finally introduced, considered by most to be the hardest game mode out of all the available modes. Basically, it goes in 45-degree angles, either up or down depending on your input. On my first attempt, I was able to reach 49%. I decided that it would still be good to complete it in practice mode, and afterwards, I would be ready to beat it. After beating the practice mode, my next best attempt was 73%. Then I continued to die at the wave part over and over again, but the level wasn't too difficult and I was able to beat it in 21 attempts, and my final rating for Blast Processing is a 5 for music, 6 for fun, 3 for difficulty, and a 6 for aesthetics. Geometrical Dominator, the first memory level I ever encountered in Geometry Dash. This level is riddled with sections where you have to memorize paths so that you don't die. The first 4% has a pillar coming up to give you a nice tip. The robot is also finally introduced in this level, one of the funnest game modes in Geometry Dash. The longer you hold your clicks, the further it goes up with a certain limit. The less you hold, the shorter it jumps. This level is extremely colorful with new decorations like the chomping monster and these little guys. The first ship section was really cool, having you go through these open pillars and tunnels. After this little wave section, we go into a different theme. This castle aesthetic is one of the coolest sections I've ever seen for a level. It also includes a rainbow road theme as well as this other ship section into the super easy UFO part. But what came next had my ass cheeks jiggling. The dreaded memory section. The jumps aren't hard by any means, but when it comes to memorizing things, I'm absolutely good. I literally spent over 30 minutes practicing this section in practice mode. Also, I think I'm the least carried wave player in the entire world. Well, that's not true actually, that's just Jynzxi on Deadlocked. The next UFO part has this really cool mechanic, where you have to go through these things for it to open up the next section. The rest of the level is pretty easy, I shouldn't choke on anything. The final robot section, and I finally beat Geometrical I'm fucking done with this game. I can't explain. It was AI. My final attempt for Geometrical Dominator is 156. What the fuck? My final rating for Geometrical Dominator is a 6.5 for music, 7 for fun, 6 for difficulty, and a 9 for aesthetics. Fingerdash, the second to last Geometry Dash level, having by far the best decoration and introducing the black orb. When you click it, it makes you fall down super quick. The next mechanic is this purple arrow sign. You basically hold it and it makes you glide straight in the air. After this little beat drop, the spider game mode is finally introduced. It crawls either up or down by teleporting with every click. Ooh, a coin. The rest of the level is fun, but has nothing much for me to say, but on my second attempt after doing my practice mode, I actually beat it with an attempt count of 56? Bro, this is not a purple face level. Geometrical Dominator is actually the secret ass pounder. My final rating for Fingerdash is an 8 for music, 9 for fun, 3.5 for difficulty, and 9 for aesthetics. The last main Geometry Dash level if you go by release. This level is packed with stuff I've never seen before. Just the detail in this level is absolutely astounding. The beginning has this insane intro, these massive pillars erecting out of nowhere. The spider section where each click shakes the entire screen for that extra spice. And these blue pressure pads, each one are needed to be pressed to remove and destroy these deadly spikes. These timings were confusing for me and my best attempt was 9% after 20 tries. At 10% you're faced with spikes falling from the top. To stop these spikes from killing you, you would need to headbutt the non-red skull blocks, basically playing Mario now in it. Then you're met with these sticky roads. It does what a blue jump pad does, but only when you jump. Also, we're drinking drugs now, I guess? The swing mode is finally introduced. Every click you do basically changes the way it swings. It's pretty easy to get a hang of. But what came next blew my mind apart. We start rotating! Oh my god, rotating geometry! No way! Going through this portal into an upside down robot section. Rotate again! Into this ball section. Piss orb! Back into another swing section. We have a quick little spider section where you go up this staircase and through these two massive portal holes. And now we jump to our deaths. Psych! We're in a completely different game now. Look at this! I'm small, petite, small, cute, and small. This is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in Geometry Dash yet, and this countdown makes me rock hard. The ship section is pretty easy. I really like how this path forms here as well. This robot section has these spinning fans that pushes you to different directions. The final portal. It leads you to this super cool platformer type section, and as you slowly climb up to the top and stand at the apex of it all, you realize that you've been watching some autistic person play Geometry Dash for the last 23 minutes. Please subscribe, my mama's kinda homeless! With a final attempt count of 126, my final rating of Dash is a 7 for music, 10 for fun, 4 for difficulty, and a 10 for aesthetics. But now it's time for Clubstep. Clubstep, the first demon level I'll be attempting. At the beginning of the level, you're faced with Clubstep monster. This level is made to invoke fear. The intro for Clubstep isn't so bad. With enough practice, I would be able to do it pretty consistently. But what came after this was much more difficult. I was able to get past the orb section pretty easily and immediately fell victim to the ship section. This part doesn't necessarily have the most difficult flies in the world, but as a new player, having invisible spikes that fade in and out is pretty dirty. Of course, you would learn the path after some practice, but nonetheless, it's still pretty stinky. To be honest, what I find funny is that Jynzxi doesn't take the easy route, but instead decides to fucking straight fly. So of course, logically speaking, I'll just do the same thing. After completing the ship section, you have a short break of easy orb timings that are surprisingly chokeable if you spam too much. But who would ever do that? Oh fuck. The boss section comes afterwards. This is probably one of the easier sections in the entire level, but there are fakes placed everywhere, but honestly, after some practice, I was able to memorize the paths pretty easily. However, this UFO section was a massive choke point for me during my Clubstep journey, but soon enough I'll learn it after a couple hundred tries. Quick little zigzag here, then some more orb timings. I try my best not to spam these sections, as when it comes to consistency, I wanted to always be precise, especially when my heart rate would be going up. The second UFO section is pretty easy. Then one of my least favorite parts in the entire level, 74% up to 82% was an absolute nightmare for me to learn. These zigzag patterns with the portal photos changing, my gravity really messes me up. The trick for me was to stay in the middle as much as possible. I was not ship carried by any means, and Clubstep really requires you to be decent at this game mode. The final section is finally here. After these orbs, you are greeted with the last Clubstep monster. They stare at you as you finally overcome this level. Anyways, that was just the practice mode. Also, for the last 3 main levels, I'll be going for all the coins, otherwise Shine will disown me. I can't let that happen. Let's do this! After a few attempts, I got a personal best of 49%. That's an improvement. On my 8th attempt, I reached 56%. I'm doing it! On my 15th attempt, I got 65%. Look at him go! At this pace, I'll be done with the level soon enough. My next personal best was 86%. It was a pretty bad choke, but hey, at least it's only 86%. Surely this would be my worst fail. After countless attempts, I made it past 86%. This is it! Finally, it's over! I'm gonna do it! No. I choked at 95%. My most painful failure ever. I was broken after this. I felt like all my hard work came crashing down. And it wasn't even a funny failure. I legit just drew straight into a fucking wall. I would then proceed to have failure after failure after failure. I was completely mind blocked. I decided after all of this grinding that it would be best for my mental health and physical stability to take the day off. No, that's some baby shit. We go to practice mode. There is no tomorrow. We go again. My consistency came back. Although I died at 87%, I was happy because I was able to consistently make it to the end. It was only a matter of time now. Here it is! It's time to beat it! Okay, that's fine. We can come back. Simple mistake. Okay, I think I understand my problems. I fucking suck! But it's fine. The whole reason for this video is to beat Geometry Dash faster than Jynzxi. So who cares if I waste hundreds of hours? And after countless hours, I got to 90%. It's time to lock the fucking elite. Will Clubstep claim me as its little puppy? Or will I finally defeat this level? But of course, I wouldn't allow that to happen. Yes! 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 Oh, I beat it! Oh, I beat it! Oh! With a final attempt count of 1,456. With all coins collected, my final rating for Clubstep is a 7 for music, 1 for fun, 10 for difficulty, and a 7 for aesthetics. Theory of Everything 2, the second to last Geometry Dash demon level. But little did I know that this level was going to forever change me. This level was going to abuse me, violently touch me in places that I have never been touched before. Theory of Everything 2 is an absolute monster of a level. Even more fakes. Like, a lot of fakes. Spikes that fade in and out constantly. It's basically a memory level. Well, for me at least. Fake ball sections, fake orb sections. You know what? This entire level is fake. It's all AI. There are so many fakes that the fakes have fakes. Why is this level like this? These ship sections especially are just the worst. This part, which I call the mountain, has made me choke so many runs that it's made me dry from the amount of pounding that is done to me. Also, this wave section has cooked me so many times. Let me have the coin! Once you pass the mountain, as long as you practice the timing for the UFO, the rest is pretty easy. After practicing my weak points for 3 hours straight, my total playtime being 28 hours, remind you, this is day 9 of me playing Geometry Dash for the first time. Jynzxi is still stuck on Deadlocked. Anyways, after all of this grinding and practicing, I was ready to beat Theory of Everything 2. It's time to lock in! I made steady progress, getting 35% and then 38%. My next best run was 48%, then 58%. I'm fucking killing it. 60% was my next best run, a little bit of an improvement, but nonetheless it's still better. 74% was my next big jump. It hurts a little bit to die so close near the end, but still, one step at a time. Then 88% was my next best run. And after 2 hours, I got over the mountain. I made it past the UFO. It's just the last wave part and I beat Theory of Everything too. Let's go! No, you gotta, no. I was only a few seconds away from beating Theory of Everything too. but I died from this early misclick. It was a devastating loss. It was getting late into the night and I was really getting tired. But you know how I am. I never give up. We'd never give up. There is no tomorrow. This time, we will win.
Fuck, man, I'm so hot.
I was shattered. I decided to consult Shine. Maybe he can give me some therapy. But after getting in a call with Shine and it being 1 minute away from midnight, I finally beat Theory of Everything 2. But turns out, I wasn't recording. So I have two options now. I can either beat Theory of Everything 2 on camera, or I could either go to sleep, have a good night's rest, do Deadlocked tomorrow and get my video done quicker. Hit record this time! I didn't care about my tiredness. I had just one goal and one goal only, and that was to beat Theory of Everything 2. And after countless hours of grinding and being a complete dumbass to record my actual win, the stars aligned, allowing me to make it over the mountain once again. And for the last time, I beat Theory of Everything 2. Yes, let's go, Shine! Let's freaking go! Or so you thought that would be my reaction, but actually, after playing Geometry Dash for almost 6 hours today, this was my honest reaction.
Oh my god, I'm finally done with this fucking giant shack thinky fucking doodle-diddly ditty titty Epstein motherfucking island. What am I saying? Fuck this level.
With a final attempt count of 1,647, my final rating for Theory of Everything 2 is a 6 for music, minus 10 for fun, 10 for difficulty, and an aesthetic rating of 7.5. It's finally here! After days and days of non-stop playing, I reached Jynzxi's domain. Well, this is nightmare.
I want to kill myself.
Deadlocked, the last Geometry Dash level. This is by far my favorite out of the 3 demon levels. It has super fun gameplay as well as having a freaking boss fight. These 3 chomping monsters come out and start firing lava beams. However, I did have one problem with this level. The wave sections. You see, there hasn't really been many wave sections that were really difficult so far. Theory of Everything 2's wave sections were whatever. But Deadlock requires you to be decent at the wave game mode. This wasn't going to be easy. After a few minutes, my best one was 14%. That's almost matching Jynzxi's score already. It was time to finally fully practice this level. Let's get it. The aesthetics for this level is really sick. The intro has these turning gears and chompies scattered all over the place. First wave section. Well, actually, technically the second one if you count. Shut the fuck up. I really like the layout of this wave section. This giant face that looks like a monster with eyes. What's even cooler is the ship section. These moving faces with spikes is a really cool idea. RobTop really loves spamming his portals with this level. You're constantly going in and out of these holes. Your wave penetrating these things and your balls being sucked in like a black hole. To get the first coin, we actually have to go all the way back to the ship section. If you look right here, there's a key that can be grabbed to open up this coin. Otherwise, it's locked. Grab that second coin, this inferno section, yoink! This dual wave part, mini wave, and then this memory shift puzzle. Oh my god. Quick little ping pong game, the last UFO section, and then the final stretch, and boom, that's Deadlock. Alright, let's do all of that in normal mode. I didn't make it past 14% for my first 3 attempts, but on my 4th one, I got a new best of 48%, then a new best of 63%. But then this happened. I forgot to record again. But at least I didn't beat the level. I only failed at 93%. I'm both stupid and suck at this game. But Deadlock did not squeeze my balls out. Unlike Clubstep and Theory of Everything 2, I was able to make my comeback and then finally beat Deadlock. Yes! Let's go! Bro, that was so easy actually. With a final attempt count of 1,365. It says 765 right now, but my game crashed so it deleted some of my attempts. My final rating for Deadlock is a 7 for music, 7 for fun, 7 for difficulty, and a 10 for aesthetics. I could end the video here, but that would be a bit lame. I needed just one more challenge to end it all. 9 circles, the infamous hard demon level, usually one of the best hard demon levels to beat. Most players who try to get better at this tortured, godforsaken game has most likely beaten this level once. Besides, my hardest demon only took me a day or 2 at most to beat, and Jynzxi currently still stuck on Deadlock, so I have nothing else to do. I needed a level that would make me push past my limits. So, that's exactly what I did. The date is exactly January 1st, 2026. I booted up 9 circles for the first time. I started to do my first few attempts. This level was very interesting. Its color scheme is revolved around the color red. No shit. And after 100 attempts, my best was 19%. And based on my calculations, it would only take about 400 more attempts to beat this level. How hard could this level be? The moment I went into practice mode, my little bits of confidence that I gained from beating all the main levels came crashing down. The hardest ship sections I've ever seen in my life. The hardest ball section sections I've ever seen in my life. The hardest, actually scratch that, literally everything in this level is absolutely cooked. This wave section, which makes up most of the level, is the most cancerous thing I've ever experienced. The first wave section, about 39% to 50%, took me hundreds of tries to pass. 50% to 61% is a much easier section. Although this quick duel section was quite tricky, it wasn't the worst. 61% to 72% is a much more difficult section, requiring more precision and timing. 72% to 83% is the last part of the wave section. It's also the section I practiced the most, as it was where I choked hundreds of times. After this is just a cube section for the rest of the level. But don't get it twisted, this is the scariest part of the entire level. 87% has the most diabolical timing ever. One mistake and say goodbye to your entire run. The final choke point is 94%. It's deceptively hard due to the 3D effect of this level. It's also pretty tight for a jump. If you were able to keep your nerves under control and pass all of this, you beat 9 circles. It took me over 1100 attempts to beat it in practice mode. We're gonna be here for a while. I wanted to give myself some more attempts in normal mode to see my progress. My next best was 27%, then it was 28%. It was at this exact moment that I realized that I would need to set up a proper plan. What I decided to do was to do a certain percentage over and over again until I was extremely consistent with it. The cube section was actually pretty easy to get down. I decided that I was consistent enough with it, and I decided to move to the ship section. After a few hundred attempts, I felt a little bit consistent with this ship section, and I decided to move on to the ball. I really hate this section. It was annoying trying to figure out the correct timing for where to click the orb so that my ball wouldn't go up too high or too low. Any mistake would most likely lead to my death. After an hour of grinding, I felt a little consistent and decided to move on to the next section. After a couple of hours, I felt a little consistent with this section and decided to move on. I was really starting to get fatigued after playing for hours, but I had just one goal in my mind, and that was to move on to the next section. Stay focused, Elite! This section isn't too bad, but does have tighter timings. The big problem was what came next. The final and hardest section in this entire level. It was just awful in every way possible, and honestly, fuck this section. I don't even want to talk about it. What are you gonna do about it? Like the video and subscribe? This is the final section to the entire level. I made sure to practice this hundreds and hundreds of times over. I couldn't afford to choke near the end. I've been playing Geometry Dash now for over 6 hours straight, but I went to normal mode to see if I could get a better score. After 30 minutes, my next best was 49%. I was not really happy. I almost completed 50% of the level. It was also getting really late at night, so I decided finally that I would get some sleep. After thousands of attempts, I was able to complete my first 40% to 100, but I wasn't satisfied. I needed to complete 40 to 100 at least 3 more times before I felt confident enough to win. On my 3rd day of the 9 circles grind, I finally completed that goal. It was finally time to beat this level. My next best was 70%. This was nearly a 2 times difference compared to my last score. If I kept this momentum, I would be able to beat this level soon. And after an hour, my next best was 75%. After days of grinding and suffering, I made it past the final wave section. This is it, just a little more! I choked at the final stretch. Days of grinding turned into pure sadness over one singular input. To say the very least, I was not happy about it. It was best to take the day off and try again tomorrow.
Is that it? You're gonna give up because you're sad? Kill yourself. I believe in you, Lee. Don't give up.
But as if he knew all along, Shine told me that he wouldn't allow any failure. He's right, I'm so close to the end. Will I simply just give up now? No! After tens of hours, I can't leave it like this. For the final time, Elite, lock it! I just committed the worst choke in this entire video. 94% on 9 circles. I ended up choking on the 2 most chokeable sections in 9 circles. It was at this moment that I fell to my lowest point. But Shine wouldn't allow that. He decided to give me words of wisdom and encouragement, and I decided to push on. And after 30 minutes, I got the final run. Your cube, your companion, who has died countless times for this moment. I gotta say, my cube is a baddie! And finally, after 70 hours, I defeated 9 circles and all the main Geometry Dash levels. Yes! Oh
Oh my god, Shine, I fucking did it! Let's fucking go! Yes! Oh my god, I can't believe it! I actually did it! No freaking way, bro! Shine! I beat it so hard like I do my me!
With a final attempt count of 5,500, it currently says 3,000, but I lost around 2,000 attempts after my computer crash. My final rating for 9 circles is a 5 for music, 7 for fun, 99 for difficulty, and an 8 for aesthetics. Alright! Finally done with the footage. Time for the extreme demon called editing these files down. Oh my god!